97.9 The Box is the Madd Hatta Morning Show. The incredible comedian out of H-Town, Ali Siddiq, is in the building.
What's good, people? Oh, I done stepped up. You said incredible.
It takes at least 12 or 13 years to get that.
Yeah. Oh, man. It took a while.
Ali always got to be extra. But no, everybody, first of all, everyone has always been proud of him. He knows this for sure. But he continues. Here's what I like about Ali. Because, you know, he goes through his ups and downs is what I call him. When he's shooting at everybody, the city gets shot, you get shot, everybody take it. And then I'm like, okay, watch when he go on this. I said, he getting ready to go on the upswing and don't know it. And then he go on that big upswing, you know what I'm saying? Then, then he'll get mad at everybody again on the upswing and shoot us all again. Then he'll take another swing. So now he's on a big upswing once again, been on TV, comedy album dropping. We proud of you, son. That's all.
Man, I appreciate it. Man, I thought the city was going to, I was campaigning like a politician for bringing the funny on NBC, man. I was hoping that I was going to win, but I got outvoted.
How do you feel about that? Because I'm like, man, they better hope that Ali win. Because if he lose, all them people they gonna get it too.
Hey, let me tell you the weirdest thing. Did you notice that they didn't put the camera on me? If you watch the show, it's like they panned all the rest of the contestants. They got to me, and the camera just went up. Well, my jaw was tight. My jaw, but
shut up.
My jaw was tight. Then one of the producers, Josh, he said they don't want the contestants to come to the rap party. I said, oh, when did that happen? He says, they just feel like some of them may be angry. And I said, Josh, are they talking about me? Who was the some, Josh? And I was one of the only people that was at the rap party.
Really?
Yeah, I had a good time. Man, I wasn't tripping on that, man. It's like, I've lost so many competitions due to things that's beyond my control that I don't even get upset about that no more. I'm happy to be there.
I was surprised you were on the show. I'm going to be honest with you. When I saw you on the show, I'm like, this is kind of beneath Ali. This is a seasoned veteran in my eyes. Now, I don't know how the rest of the world sees it, but we grew up on you. So
that's how Keenan and Kel saw it. That's how Chrissy Teigen saw it. That's how Jeff Foxworthy saw it. It's like, why is he?
And I thought when I saw your finale performance, I thought you had won it. I've seen the other people and the other skits and all that stuff. I thought you had won it hands down.
But why'd you go on the show? Like I said, I thought the show, here you've been on Comedy Central, you've put out albums, you've done tours.
Lavelle Crawford. Lavelle Crawford is why I went on the show. That was because I said no to the whole process a couple times, and then my agent Joe Eschenbaum was like, listen, Lavelle Crawford. I said, okay, Last Comic Standing. He went on Last Comic Standing. He was a clear veteran when he went on Last Comic Standing. He lost, but nobody remembers who won. And then he got Breaking Bad after that. He got Sile after that. He got all these other opportunities. Yeah, it was positioning.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And so, I gained a lot of fans. Got in with NBC.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have never got that endorsement from Jeff Foxworthy if I would have never been on this show. Keenan, he was like, yo, man, I hope I can come out and tour with you sometime. Like tour me like what? Like, he open up for you. I'm like, oh, wow. The longest running cast member of Saturday Night Live want to open up for me. I called my agent right then and was like, Joe, Keenan wants to open for me. And all Joe said, it can happen. So, it was a good experience. I was cool just getting to the finals, and then something kicked into my mind that I wanted to win. And then I was like, and I told Joe, I said, I hate that you even asked me to come on the show because now I want to win, and I know that I'm not. I know they're gonna have all these.
Wait, why would you know that you're not?
This is and this is another thing that I brought up in production. I said, I don't think it's fair to bring somebody back because whoever voted, if America voted for them to come back, what is the chances of somebody changing their vote once they get to the finals? You gonna vote for who you voted for to get back in. And then those packages, man. I understand how people package people. And just like with America's Got Talent, they looking for the underlying story. And if they can get a sympathy, story.
Wait a minute, but Ali, you got a hell of a story. But I don't know if you don't want to tell that story.
They didn't present that story. Because this is NBC. So they not gonna present
a different type of story. Okay.
You know, they rather present the single father with several kids and I'm struggling and I got a limp arm, you know what I'm saying, and I'm deaf in one ear. They rather present that story for
Your
people.
Your story is a hell of a story.
Well, the female comedian, they presented that as the single mother who's out there doing her thing.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, but that's when you said that. I saw the package, and I'm like, okay, all right.
And so quite naturally, you're gonna get all the women's vote on that end.
I think your story's not. I'm never going to take anything away from a single.
But his
mother,
package was not even that though. I saw yours. Yours was kind of just,
Was that choice? Was your package? Was your package your choice? Because you didn't want to. Okay, let's not talk about that.
You saw the Ali look.
Congratulations.
You think I'll be riding around L.A. in a drop-top Cadillac
That's
looking rich already? Looking rich. Like they had me already looking like.
That was confusing to me. I was like, this is not Ali, but
why you let him do
it
you
looks
like
good,
that?
but it's not Ali.
Hey man,
why they do you like that?
NBC can't do what they want to do sometimes.
I get it. It's NBC. As long as y'all ain't compromising my values.
As long as you ain't, got me in a dress, I'm cool. I'll take a Cadillac over a dress, and then over a skirt.
I want real quick. I know you want to talk about the album that you just dropped. Before we get there, though, a couple of weeks back in the city, somebody did a story on you. I had not heard you say anything about this. I don't remember you saying anything about it. Maybe you went on Isaiah and said something about it. But didn't somebody write a story? I guess they didn't know about your past and being incarcerated or something. And I think they said something like, however they wrote the story.
Convicted felon makes it to semifinals of NBC Bring the Funny.
There you go.
I was like, wow, that's how you wanted to start it off, with convicted felon?
And I'm just curious when I saw
ex-convict.
Because I hit you in the DM. I like, when you want to get on the air and talk about that? You never responded to me. So I was like, okay, maybe he don't want to talk about it.
No, I didn't. First of all, let me say I did not see that.
Okay.
And I checked my DMs.
Maybe I should have just hit your phone number.
Yeah,
maybe that was on me.
Just call me.
That's on me.
So I went on Isaiah. Isaiah called me and wanted to talk about it. DL expressed outrage. It was like people were madder than me because the whole thing was
They shouldn't be. That's your description. I get that's where you're from, but you're so far removed from that. I know it's part of your story, but that's
clickbait.
It's a long time ago.
It was clickbait. So I went on and I said, all I said was, wow, how do y'all feel about this? Because I just done the special in prison. So I'm on NBC, so I don't think that was the story of this convicted
That wasn't
felon.
even NBC's story.
And NBC didn't like it. NBC didn't like it at all. And it was the publicist, it was a lot of contacting after that came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me tell you something. When they get behind you, they like, they was
too much money been spent. Yeah.
So and then he corrected it with ex-prisoner. Like I was in some type of concentration camp. And then I just posted
that was a correction story?
And all I said was, I just want the Chronicle to know I know what a synonym is. And so then I know what a synonym is, man. And so then 2 days later, the publicist for the show called me and say they're going to do a proper interview with you. Do you want it? It's on you if you want to do it or not. And I was supposed to do it that day, and I said, nah, I'll wait till I get to LA on Tuesday. So I held them up for 2 or 3 days, even just trying to see if I wanted to do it. And I consulted with the fans. I was like, do y'all think I should do it? Then I thought about it. I might as well do it because it's like y'all put up all this fuss, and which I appreciate it. But how do we know that we won if I don't go and do the interview and make them correct it? It's like, do I just let it disappear and y'all just forget about it? I wanted to let the people know that they spoke loud enough for us to win them doing a real correction. Mm-hmm. So when it came back out, it was a way better story. Mm-hmm. And then
look, I don't. It's not no one trying to whitewash your past, but does that necessarily? There's been a whole bunch of. They don't say that. What's the one comedian that was on drug charges?
Byron Allen. I mean, not Byron Allen. Tim Allen. Tim Allen.
They don't never say that about.
Not at all.
Convicted felon, crack cocaine dealer.
Headlines: Home Improvement.
Yeah, they don't do that to him. So I was just like, no, just call him a comedian and do your story. Say H-Town's on something.
Yeah.
But we don't have to go there. So I think in such a huge publication. Now, if that was the story that was supposed to be told, and that's what we're
Then
telling,
we
that's
would've
one
been
thing.
cool.
But if you want to talk about he's on TV, hey, man, just do the slant of H-Town's own, the city's proud of him, and go from there.
Because how many votes would that persuade from people from voting if they didn't know it? Because, you know,
Right.
I think about things like that. You know, it's some guy like, well, I don't know, convicted felon representing that, and then
Right.
they vote for somebody else, you know. So then some people like, yo, he came up, you know.
Right, and I wouldn't even been mad if it was somewhere in the story, because the story, as he's reporting and talking to you, that comes up as a part of who you are and why you did some of the specials that you did
Yeah.
for Comedy Central. And now it gives me better understanding. But to let that be your lead,
And-
I had a problem with that. I'm
And,
just
and
being honest.
Comedy Central didn't even use that as clickbait. Like
Right,
they
right,
didn't
when
say-
they did
and
that,
I was
yeah.
doing the special in prison. Like
Right,
I
right.
said, I wasn't embarrassed about it. People spent $500,000 on lights for me to do a special in the prison. So I
Right.
wasn't tripping about it, you know, at all. But it was just the fact that as soon as I read it, convicted, felt like, wow, why did they say that first? Like, and that's how I actually felt about it. And that was the first time that I kind of felt ashamed of my past. I had never felt ashamed before. You know, I've always felt like, you know, I've overcame something,
deep.
and I'm somebody that people look up to that was in bad situations, no matter what the situation is.
can
that
dig yourself
you
out.
know,
That's
that
an
can dig-
incredible story.
And that was the first time that I was ashamed of it because my son can read
Whoa.
and my daughter can read, you know, and it was like, what? Daddy, what they mean convicted felon? And now I gotta have this conversation.
Because they don't know that. They didn't know that. I
Nah,
mean,
my
they know
son,
who you are
My
now.
son, my daughter knows because she 20.
Right.
But my son is 8. He don't know. My 3-year-old don't know. You know, my kids, they just like, that's daddy. You
Right.
know? And it's I think it's been only one other time that I was embarrassed because I didn't want to shame my daughter. I used to be at Longfellow Elementary. I used to be there every day. I used to come up there every day, you know, part of the PTA and all the rest of it because my daughter went to school there. So I want to be an active father. So then something happened with some other people, and then they put this paper out where you had to fill out a background check before you could come up.
Okay.
And so when she got to middle school, I never participated in anything because I didn't want, you know, that to be, oh, your daddy is this, or as far as the teachers and administration to know, I don't know what they knew or how they would see it. So I just kind of just, you know, backed up a little bit.
That's bad. Yeah.
You know, even though that's not who I am at this point, that's why I'm able to talk about it in a different way. Man, it's like people, I'm doing this speech in Philly for this nonprofit organization to talk about all these people who just came home from prison, how they can acclimate themselves back into society and how they can overcome. It's like people use me as a therapy for people who come out of bad situations. I don't think I should necessarily have to pay with going to do something with my kids in school or have to feel ashamed of how somebody presents me in the paper. You know, and it's hard to shame me. My daddy made me put on some bikini underwear because he didn't wash one time.
Shut up.
You know, in 1984 that was big, man. You know, that was big. Billy Ocean was big, man. And my dad didn't
Speedo?
my dad, no, it was bikini drawers. My dad didn't do the laundry, and I didn't have no underwear. He's like, man, put on some bikini drawers and go to school. Now, people think that's nothing, but see, in 1984, we had physical education, so you had to dress out. And so I'm taking out my stuff to put on my gym shorts and all that. And my boy Denard say, "Hey boy, you got on panties?" I said, "I'm like, nah, Billy Ocean." Man, you remember the
I'm not
days?
being a part of this. We moving on. We talking about this album. Now, how did you? What's the album about? And why now album? And what's the album about? And the name of it.
The name of it is The Prison Manual, and I just did the special in prison.
Wait, stop. So is this, in case I'm going in, I might need to listen to this first?
Bill Cosby and R. Kelly and hopefully Trump. A lot of people
Wow.
need to listen to this album just in case, because anybody can go to jail. Anybody can go to jail. You can go to jail for various reasons. You know what I'm saying? And drunk driving, not paying child support, and then other heinous crimes. You can go to jail for several reasons. This is a manual of how to conduct
How you
yourself.
driving down the street and come up with this idea that this is what I want to talk about on this album?
Man, my agent.
Just tell me where this idea came from. You was doing what?
My agent Joe called me and said, they ready to do another album. What you think it should be called? The Prison Manual. He was like, what? I was like, yo, man, I want to tell people what'll happen if they go to jail. I said, I've been locked up with a lot of interesting characters, man. And then my favorite story. So I taped the album in D.C. Once again, I was mad at Houston.
Here we go.
So I went to D.C. and this is why I was mad. I be having legitimate beefs, man.
No, they not. You just be mad sometimes.
This is legitimate beef.
Okay.
You supposed to pay homage to the people in your city that's from your city, that do things for your city, that put your city on the map. Kevin Hart performed where the Eagles play, man. Where the Eagles play. So my thing is this. How dare you go and sell out 10 shows for somebody who's been doing the same material since they started? Or somebody else, 14 shows for another person who's been doing the same copycat, got one new joke added. Or 9 shows because somebody got a song out. I be trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So I keep putting out new dope material, and then it's like pulling teeth when I come home. So I said, you know something? Never again will I
Oh, come on.
bring the whole industry. Like, see, there's a difference. I brought Showtime here. I brought HBO here. I brought Comedy Central here. You know what I'm saying?
Ali ain't gonna never
to
change.
create jobs for other people in the city. So then you think I'm gonna let these people come in with all this other money to spend or do another album, and you won't turn out for me when I'm not doing an album? Oh no! So then I got mad.
You got mad? No.
I went to DC. DC Improv sold out 6 shows, you know what I'm saying, just to watch me do this album. Now, the crazy thing is, 5 shows, I kept missing this one joke that I wanted to tell about Dexter Manley. Every time I come off stage, the producer and Dre, my boy Dre, big up to Dre, Dre was looking at me like, you didn't do Dexter Manley. I was like, man. So I go do another show, because we did 6 of them. And as soon as I come off, you didn't do Dexter Manley. I say, you know something?
Why do you keep forgetting it?
I don't know. I'm in the groove
Okay,
of doing other stuff. Really,
You don't follow a certain, like, you.
Man,
okay, I'm gonna do
had-
this joke. I'm gonna do this joke. I'm gonna do this joke.
we
You don't-
had, after I recorded, we have enough different jokes to do 2 albums. We could have put out 2 albums. 2 totally, completely
Are you
different albums.
freestyling?
No, I'm got so much material that I'm
In your
just
head,
going.
you just go,
I'm going on the vibe of the crowd. So
Right,
I'm
okay.
bang, 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 bang. So man, I said Sunday. It was beautiful because my sister was there, Roland Martin was there, all the celebs came out on. Look, that's crazy. All the celebs of DC came out on Sunday, and boom, I said, Dre, I'm starting with Dexter Manley. I'm starting with it. Dexter Manley played for the Washington Redskins. Why wouldn't I do this joke here? As soon as I came out, they said my name, and I went, let me tell y'all something. I was locked up with Dexter Manley. all rhythm, like I had to do the Dexter Manley story, and it's on it's on the album. That the producer was like, hey, we got all these stories, we got this. I said, I don't care what y'all have. If Dexter Manley has to be the last story that I tell on the whole thing, Dexter Manley has to be there. And he was like, I got you. Man, Dexter Manley's story is the funniest story to me because, you know.
Dude, you can't tell it.
Oh.
No. If they
Oh,
want
what
it,
they gotta do?
they gotta get it from the album. You can't tell it.
Can't tell it. Okay,
Can't
I
tell it.
respect
No,
that.
there's no.
Just know.
There's a whole album of his material, and if they want that material, you gotta
They
go listen.
thought Dexter Manley, just know this, just the tip. They thought the whole block thought Dexter Manley was about to kill me. And that's it.
I think you've told me this before. I think I remember this story. But you told me not. I don't think trying to be funny. You just telling me the story.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to.
Now I don't even think you realized that it was a funny story. Okay, I think I remember.
Dexter Manley.
Sorry,
was
y'all.
supposed to kill me. He was supposed to, because what I said to him.
Just stop. Don't. If you want to know how this story ends up, they can go to what album?
Prison Manuals. The Prison Manuals by Ali Siddiq. Hey, it's on all your download streams. You can download it everywhere. It's a good album, man. It's a lot of good stories on them, and it's not just about being in prison. It's how you get to prison. You know, your mindset. You know, you got to change your mind. Like a lot of people in the streets, this not even their life, man. Like I tell people, I didn't have to sell drugs at all. My mama had a job, so I didn't really have to be out there like that. But the environment I put myself in, you know, this dude named Willie. It's always somebody named Willie though, with a wet curl. His curl didn't take all the way, and then he had that. You ever seen somebody growing up? They had the extra row of teeth. And then he had the extra. He had the extra. Like he had 6 extra teeth at the back of his real teeth. And Willie was like, man, where you from? And that's how he thought. Where you from? Driving his mama Cutlass. And then where you from? I said, I just moved. He was from living with my daddy. The boy said, oh, you got a daddy? I said, yeah, pretty much everybody got a daddy. no matter if he live with you or not, but everybody got a daddy. He like, yeah, man, you know, everybody over here hustle. He said, you hustle? I said, nah, my mama got a job. That's my thing. My mama got a job. My mama had a good job. He said, man, everybody over here. But my daddy had bought me some shoes from the grocery store because he was so cheap. You know, my daddy was a cheap man. You ever seen black and white cans that just, like my mom was responsible. She had cans that had a company and a picture on them, so you know we knew who.
You stupid.
You know, just she did. She would buy responsible stuff. It would be like Libby or Del Monte, you know, and you would see the green beans. My daddy would buy these cans that just had a black word on it. It just say corn, and you didn't even know what kind of corn was in there. He'd be opening cans. I said, Daddy, what kind of corn is that? He was like, I don't know. We both gonna be surprised. like how you what? And so my daddy, he was cheap, man. My mom, you know, when you a kid, it's only 2 things that's important. Shoes and cereal. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all you need to be right. Your shoes and your cereal. My mama buying, you know, fresh shoes, shirts or Adidas, capers. My daddy, we in the grocery store, and he just riding. He was like, man, try them shoes on. I'm like, what? Them shoes by the bread. I don't want to try them shoes on. And then he made me try them on. And you know, they always tied together. He said, I turn around. I said, I can't turn. I got on shackle shoes. You stupid. And I had them shoes on outside playing, because my mama say, go play in them raggedy shoes your daddy bought you. So I'm outside playing them shoes, and Willie saw them shoes. I'm like, nah, you may need to hustle, because you're gonna want some better shoes. I said, this some grocery store shoes. I done seen them before. I said, oh, that boy know I got them grocery store shoes. And I was a kid, man, I had them grocery store shoes on. I was hot. You know, grocery store shoes, they the only ones on a slick concrete that got grip. You know what I'm saying?
What's really sad is I remember that they used to sell sneakers in the grocery store. Yeah. Which means you start to show your age when you can remember crap like this.
Hey, man, my daddy about talking about these are slacks. No, these my workman pants. Them my pants for trash men. You ain't supposed to buy me them. My mom would buy real slacks. They came from Bales or J.C. Penney's.
How do you remember all this?
And this my life. That's why that's the whole thing. I tell true stories. I don't have to think of a lot of material. I just go digging around in my life and be like, yo, I remember the only time I've ever had any type of anything that even close to a disease is crabs, and I got that in college, and I wasn't even the person.
Why is he telling this story?
I wasn't even the person, because guess what? I wasn't the person. I let this dude.
Wait, did you see the crabs?
I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
I let this dude
Now she's interested.
sleep in my bed. You know what I'm saying?
What?
With this other little ratchet. You know what I'm saying? He slept in my bed. So I just go get in the bed, I go to sleep, and then I wake up in the middle of the night. Because that's when you find out you got crabs, in the middle of the night. It's never in the daytime. It's always in the middle of the night. And I'm using the restroom, and I'm like, what is this on me? Is it a bug on me? And I take it out, and it looked like a crab too. It's like
no way.
It's like and I'm gonna validate this story with somebody who work at this station.
Jazz.
No crabs over here, baby.
And so I'm roommates at the time with GT.
Oh, gosh.
So I knock on the door, and I can't really talk loud because the lady that he was dealing with at the time was my girlfriend's best friend. So I'm like, yo, I'm trying to whisper. I'm like, hey, listen, what is this? She's like, it's a crab. I got something for that. And in my mind, I'm like, why you got something?
Boy, you dirty.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You can't put other employees out there, Ali.
Now, he know this story. Kid Styles was there too. I tell y'all.
You don't even start names.
He said we got to go to break. I'll tell you the rest after we come back from break because Kid Styles was there and Kid Styles did me dirty and Echo Drugs. That's how you know. Remember Echoes? Kid Styles did me
I'm
dirty.
act like I don't remember what he's talking about.
Nah, kid, because at the
Finish the story. Go.
So I used the little medicine G gave me, but I feel like I'm still itchy. I don't like it. So I go upstairs and get Kid. I say, hey Kid, I need to go to the drugstore and get some medicine for these crabs. He's like, what? You got a crab, boy? So we get in the car. We go, and when we get to the, and I knew it's gonna be bad. We get to Echo Drugs, and for some reason, it's a bunch of people doing construction. They doing some maintenance, and I'm trying to whisper to the man, and he turned around. This man turned around, and he had on a thick mustache, these thick glasses. Kid Styles know this to be true. I'm standing. He turns around. He said, "Yes," and me and Kid like, "What?" And he said, "I say, I need some medicine for some crabs." And then the man said, "You got crabs?" And all the construction men was like, "What up, young boy? You got crabs?" Like, shut up. And then so we get the medicine, and we go to the counter, and it's this gorgeous chick working at the counter. So we had to go back, and that's when them little hand baskets that just came out. So we put all this stuff in his hand basket, and I say, "Kid, you gonna have to talk to her to make sure she don't be looking at all the stuff." Kid like, "I got you. We good." So we go up to the thing, and Kid talking to her. We talking, and she just chuk 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 chuk. She just ringing up stuff chuk chuk. She ain't chuk chuk. And then the thing that dip dip. The only thing that didn't ring up was the crab medicine, and she looked up at me, and Kid was doing this. He was pointing to me. I said, "Boy, he dirty." But
how many crabs was it? Like
right.
I don't know much about crabs. So like it was like
I didn't know much about crabs. I was 17.
10 crabs or like 50 or like 500.
I didn't count them, but it was an infestation.
I don't hear no more. Tell them about the album. The album is out. Where it's at? What's the name?
Yo, the album is
Ignorant. Tell them, go.
The album is called The Prison Manuals by Ali Siddiq. You can find it on all your downloading streams. You can get it everywhere that you can download something. If you can download it, you can get it. Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Google, anywhere that you can download something. Hey, man, it's a good album. Roland Martin did the forward on it. It's a lot of good stories on there. I sure hope y'all grabbed it. I'm trying to get a Grammy with this one. I am.
Get him a Grammy. Ali Siddiq.
Oh my God.
Once upon a time, I had crabs.